If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Make sure you check out Potown Store. They're having a Christmas gift promotion where you can apply for Christmas gifts for someone else to be gifted code cards and other cool surprises. And they're having a bunch of discounts and sales on all the latest Pokemon code cards, as you can see right here. And when you're checking out, you can use Tablemon code for 5% off. If you're from Europe, mealybotsgaming.com is a great option to get your cards from. They have all sorts of sealed products, merchandise, and all the sets available from Pokemon Sun and Moon upwards, including the latest Hidden Fate set. Don't forget to use Tablemon code when checking out to get a further 5% off from your final purchase. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2020. Or maybe this is Decks of the Future, I really don't know. But Japan just had their first regional with not only the brand new Sword and Shield set, which makes me very excited about, but also they have the turn 1 rule change where you are not allowed to play a supporter card if you are going first. So a lot of big changes happening, and after a grueling day of over 1,600 players competing, we had PIKAROM. Out of all the decks, PIKAROM came out on top, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool to see, not gonna lie. And it's a very teched out PIKAROM. As you can see from the top, there are very few cards from the new set, although we do have Koko V, we have the new Oranguru, we also have the, what's the name of the card? We have Professor Magnolia, right, which is our brand new Sycamore basically, and we also have a copy of Big Amulets along with the very important and very clutch Quick Ball. So those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the new set. Everything else we already know and love, which includes PIKAROM with the full Blitz attack and Tack Bolt GX attack. We have Alolan Raichu with its paralyzing attack. We have Dedenne, we have Jirachi, we have Koko Prism, we have Zapdos, we have Marshadow, we have Mimikyu, and we also have Absol. So a very teched out list, and let me explain a little bit about the newest inclusions. Like, overall, the deck plays as a regular PIKAROM, right? If you've played PIKAROM in the past, you know how the deck plays out. You try to start with Jirachi, Stellar Wish, find your Koko Prism, find your Thunder Mountain up here, right here, your Thunder Mountain, and then you try and go for the turn to full Blitz, power up the Choo Choo, and continue pummeling your opponent that way. Now, you do have Koko V, which is a very solid non-GX attacker. It's an attacker that's worth 2 prizes that for 3 energy hits for 200 damage, as you're seeing right there. So a very useful attack. We also have the first attack, which is forgot the name, Spike Draw, which for a single lightning does 20 and you draw 2 cards. So a decent way to start off the battle with Electro Power. You are able to increase that damage along with Thunderbolt's damage output, which is really nice. And even though this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn, we are playing, or the person who won rather, is playing 4 switches right there. You can see them right there. So that shouldn't be an issue. And so now you have an attacker that for the same cost as Tack Bolt, it's doing the same amount of damage, but you're only risking 2 prizes. So you're able to play the price trade-off much more easily, much more nicely. And honestly, with Professor Magnolia discarding your whole hand and drawing 7 cards, the deck is a little bit more turbo. In one turn, you could possibly see 7 cards from Magnolia, 6 cards from Dedenne Change, and then 5 more from Stellar Wish. So that's 18 potential different cards that you're looking at in order to find what you need. Now, Professor Magnolia is quite destructive in the sense that if you start that with custom catchers, you're going to lose the ability to use them. Same for Electro Powers, so you really need to measure when and where you are going to use them. But we also have Guzma Hala and Volkner to help support the deck in terms of supporters. a lot less destructive. Kuzmahal allows you to immediately search for Thunder Mountain, along with a skateboard and the 1-of unit energy in case you need it. We also have search for the big amulet, which increases your Pokemon's HP by 30, whoever has it attached. So sometimes it can be useful to prevent a knockout, or I don't know, just give more health to your own Pokemon. Your PIKAROM gets 270 HP, your Alolan Raichu gets 290 HP, which is fantastic, and your Tapu Koko V gets up to 230 HP. Now, Quick Ball is the card that really rounds out the deck, and it's fantastic because the issue with PIKAROM right after rotation at Worlds, like what I encountered and what many people encountered, was finding Koko Prism was just not reliable enough. You had to actually rely on Stadium Nav, which was also a flipping card, so you never want to play flipping cards if you can avoid it. You relied on either a flipping card or a pretty lackluster Pokemon communication to find you the ways to advance your game state by advancing your energy with Thunder Mountain or Koko Prism in order to be able to get off a full blitz a turn or two sooner, so turn 1 or turn 2 max. However, now with Quick Ball, not only do we have an extra way to discard a lightning energy, because in order to play Quick Ball you have to discard a card, but there's also the fact that you can search your deck for any basic Pokemon, no matter what, any basic Pokemon, and you put it into your hand. So that is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, because it finds you Koko Prism, can find you any of the Zapdos or any of the tech cards I have, Absol, Mimikyu, or Anguru, anything, and it finds you your attackers as well, your Koko Vs, anything it finds you. But especially important because we do have Tackle, for example, to find the tag team Pokemon, but finding non-GX Pokemon used to be a pain in the butt, but now it isn't, thanks to Quick Ball, or now in Japan, and it won't be for us starting in February. So really, really cool to see that. And the rest of the deck is pretty straightforward. The 1-of Tag Switch to move energy around, 3 tackles. I feel like that's a little excessive, or at least I would like to have 1-of Cynthia Caitlyn in the list, just to have a different option in case tackle is the only card that you have. That way you can get out of a potential dead draw situation. That's the only but I have for this deck. And let me talk about a little about Oranguru. So there's a new card, Marnie, where both players put their hand cards face down, shuffle them, and then you put them on the bottom of their deck. And then you draw 5 cards, and your opponent draws 4 cards. So whoever played the card draws 5, the other person draws 4. So it's kind of like a better judge. And why is Oranguru useful? So Oranguru is useful because its ability, Shallow Cleverness, you may swap one of your hand cards with the top card from your deck. So what happens? You use Oranguru's ability not only to draw a card, but also to protect a card. You know, like if you know you're gonna need the reset stamp next turn, or you know you want to guarantee a supporter for next turn. So what you do is you use Oranguru's ability. For example, you put the Professor Magnolia at the top of the deck, right? You switch the cards. And so if your opponent uses Marnie, your hand is not getting shuffled back into the deck. It's getting put on the bottom, and then you draw the top 5 cards. So what will be the first card you draw? The card that you chose to put back. So it's actually a very skillful card, and I am not surprised that it showed up in the champion list and also the second place list, and I'm sure it showed up in many other lists. So it's a really nice way to protect from the new disruption card that we have now, which is Marnie. And it's not great against Reset Stamp. It is a way to just bench a Pokemon and draw a card. Having more than one doesn't make any sense because you're just switching the top card over and over. You're not actually gaining any card draws. But that hand protection, resource protection, that can actually be pretty important. And there might be other situations where you're up against Gengar Mimikyu and then you put a trainer back and hope you don't draw one. There might be situations where against Pidgeotto control, you're gonna get hand locked potentially without a reset stamp or whatever, like they're playing Mars. So then you put a card at the top that you know they cannot discard now. Or you get into some mind games where you put the card back and then they have to choose whether to below that card if it's important, or to Mars away your hand. So there's a lot of room for playing with that. And in a deck that runs 4 switches, having the Oranguru is not a big deal because even if you start with it, you'll be able to easily switch out of it. And then you have Absol to counter other Drachis. You have Mimikyus to Cancel out opposing tag teams' abilities. That's the one card I also question here, because, I mean, you can poke with Zapdos, I guess, and perhaps turn off a Mewtwo, or some other tag team ability or GX ability, but I don't see too many being like that impactful, whereas it's all gonna be about the new V Pokemon. So perhaps Mimikyu is the best way for this deck to deal with Mewtwo decks. I'm not sure. I don't know what the metagame is currently in Japan with this brand new sets, but this list seemed like a very nice way to analyze the champion. Like, this deck seemed very easy to analyze because it's a good old PIKAROM that we've seen from basically since PIKAROM came out, but with the new additions that simply strengthen the deck. And I'm really happy to see PIKAROM do well. I myself did really well with PIKAROM right after it came out. I gained like 1,000 championship points within 3 months, which was an insane amount. And so it makes me very happy to see it back at the top, as right now it's pretty much out of the radar, right? So it seems like Sword and Shield will finally strengthen the card to the point where it becomes incredibly viable and possibly tier 1 as well. So yeah, that will be all for this video. Tomorrow I'll try to showcase the second place list, which features Sassy and V. Yeah, so a bunch of new cards there as well. So make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this quick analysis of the PIKAROM. Of course, I can't use it. This is not PCGO. We don't have the cards yet, but we will very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.